Give him the ladder.
Equal.
Equal opportunity.
So we're not talking about a debate, we're going to carry on. So I'm going to ask you, the manuscripts, extant manuscripts of Sanhedrin, dates from when?
9th century, probably the earliest would be the 9th or 10th century.
9th century. Let me ask you again, is this post-Islamic, meaning after Islam, or pre-Islamic?
They're Jewish apocryphal writings.
No.
Are they post? Yes,
When
they
you
are
give me a
post.
date,
Are they borrowed from the Quran? No, they're not.
Okay, listen. When you say 9th century, Islam prophet came in what? 7th century. So 200 years later. You're using a 200-year later document to say the Quran borrowed from a document 200 years later. Is that what you're saying?
Are you saying?
Next point.
We know very good and well that these were there from the 2nd century on. There's reference after reference, are there not, Tony, to the 2nd century
Where are
writings?
they? Where are
They
they?
are reference after reference
Go on.
up until the 5th century.
Give us the
There's a whole panoply
Go
of enormous material that we do have
Hello,
on this,
Jay.
do we not?
Where are the
Reference.
Where are the references?
From the Mishnah, from the
Where are
Torah.
the references from manuscripts that are older than the Quran?
We don't have manuscripts any more than we don't have manuscripts of the
So
Quran.
let's move on to the next point then. So,
Okay.
hang on, are you going to be consistent? We have extant cuneiform tablets of Gilgamesh, Atrahasis, and Enuma Elish epic. They predate your Bible and biblical manuscripts by thousands of years. And these cuneiform tablets, do you know what they talk about? They talk about flood, they talk about creation.
They're also in the Quran.
Let me finish. I'm showing how consistent he is or not. Now, scholars of ancient Near Eastern texts, or annals, they have done papers, many papers, and interestingly they have shown how the story of flood, the story that you have in the Bible, and the story, let me finish. Let me finish first. I will tell you if you allow me. If you allow me. So, these Gilgamesh, Enuma Elish, and Atrahasis epic, they have accounts of the flood, similarity, and in chronological order. In how much similarity and how much chronological order? There are at least, hear my word, at least 17, not 15, 16, 17 instances of similarities in chronological order,
because it actually
establishing that the biblical account
That's because it's historical.
plagiarized from those accounts.
Okay, here we
According
go.
to, let me finish.
No, you finish.
No, I haven't
Finish.
finished. I haven't finished, Jay. I haven't finished. According to your methodology that you're using, the Quran talks about stories of Cain and Abel. We find the same stories in Targum and Mishnah and so on. Now, if you use the same standard, which of course you don't want to use, so I'm not going to accuse you of a hypocrite, you can work it out. If you use the same standard and you find your Bible, which is much, much later than those cuneiform tablets, you should use the same method and say the Bible borrowed from those ancient Near Eastern texts. Why don't you do that?
Okay, we're going to do that. We're going to use the same standard.
Yeah, do that then, please.
We're going to use the same standard. We're going to look at the dates. The Gilgamesh epic are from the 6th century BC. Atrahasis tablets are from what date?
I told you they are.
1635 BC.
They are.
So they're over 1,000 years earlier than the Gilgamesh epic. Do you notice the same story has not changed in 1,000 years? What is interesting is that they're very simplistic, are they not? They just talk about a man and a woman who are in the garden and they don't eat
like
of a
in your
certain tree.
Bible.
They just talk about a flood.
Just like
But
in your
folks,
Bible.
hold on a minute. Are these the only tablets that talk about floods? Are these the only accounts?
I give you
Almost every culture has a flood account. And take a look. They have a flood account, but it's not like the flood account we have in the Bible.
I just told you.
And when you look at the biblical account, the story of Cain, the story of Adam and Eve, and the story of the Garden of Eden is quite a bit different than that which you find. Are you going to let me speak or are you going to interrupt me? Otherwise I can interrupt you.
Shall we do that then?
So we interrupt each other?
Yeah.
Okay, because I have a much louder voice.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
When you look at the Atrahasis, when you look at the story in the Gilgamesh epic,
Louder.
does it take you anywhere? Is there anywhere you can go with it? Can you see it's very simplistic,
You need
which suggests it has been borrowed from another source. Look at the biblical account. And when you look at the biblical account, you will see that not only is it foundational for everything we're going to read in the rest of the Bible, it is one of the only stories that you can find where you see how sin came into the world. The enormity of what sin had done.
Sin and tonic.
The fact that sin is what separated us from God. See, that you don't find in the Quranic account. That you don't find in the Gilgamesh epic.
Yeah, and the point
Can you
is,
notice, see, the
there are
rest of the
differences-
Bible from that time
I wanna
on
know the argument.
goes back to that point.
if it's saying
That if we are separated from God because of sin, something has to be done about sin. That's what sin has done.
Now,
and it's
we're talking about sin.
completely
Not
different
manuscripts
than
anymore.
any of the other accounts. Now that's why I love my
Jesus
Bible.
loves you.
No,
It is not copied from those accounts.
Now,
those
let's
accounts
return to
are
the
copies
Quranic
of what the
manuscripts.
Bible said.
Jay,
Because that
Do you remember,
account
Jay?
would have been written in
We were
1400
to talk
BC.
about the Quranic
And in
manuscripts.
1400 BC, folks,
Jay,
Glenn, wake up.
the
In
Quranic
1400
manuscripts. Is
BC,
anyone interested in
when you
Quranic
look at that
manuscripts?
account, folks, you will
Does
see
anyone want to
very
know
clearly
about the Quranic
that
manuscripts?
their God had
Yeah?
to eradicate
Good.
and had to walk through
let's-
man from his
instead
presence.
of
Show me
moving to
in the
a
Gilgamesh
different
epic.
subject,
Show me in any other account, the
Jay,
Atrahasis tablet,
I've made my
where
point
you
already,
have
Jay.
this side and this side of God. Folks, can you see why now the scholars are now looking anew at the Bible? Because they're realizing
Are you gonna talk
that the
about the
Bible
manuscripts,
does talk about the right people at the right place at the right time doing the
we?
right thing.
Actually
Can we
not.
give you some other examples?
Let me give you an example.
Using the
Contrary.
same criteria you've just asked of me.
Quranic manuscripts. Are you afraid to talk about it?
We've just been talking
No,
about
we
it.
haven't finished yet. We just started. We only started to talk about the Quranic manuscripts. Top copy manuscripts that you talk about every time.
Go ahead.
Even just 2 weeks ago, isn't it, or last week? Because you just repeat. It's like, Groundhog Day or something. You're repeating the same debate like you did last week or the week before. Right. The point is, top copy manuscripts. How much percent complete is that?
99%.
Oh, you learned now.
Of the 99%,
Wait, I haven't
how
finished.
much of it is
Wait,
missing
wait.
within that 99%?
Wait, Jay.
Because not all of it is complete.
I haven't finished.
There are many holes in it.
I haven't
I'm
finished.
not finished either.
I
You wait
haven't
till I'm
finished.
finished.
No, you let
because
me
of the
finish
99%, much of it is missing. So what is left is about 78%.
Wait.
Nonetheless,
Wait.
only the last and the first of the surahs is missing. But what are the dates you give for top copy?
Okay, let's talk about the top copy. So earlier on, until just 2 weeks ago, you used to talk about 78% complete. I'm glad.
Of the 99%,
I'm
yes.
glad that you've of 78%.
Yes, but see, you didn't want to talk about the 78%.
Excuse me, I haven't finished.
You didn't want to talk and notice the folks that even within that 78%.
Tell me when you're finished, and I'll speak.
We have.
Good.
It is finished.
Right.
But now give me the date for the top copy.
No, I'm not moving on yet. Let's talk about it.
Shall
So
we go for 5
earlier
minutes?
on-
5 minutes.
Listen, not 5 minutes. I don't play this game anymore. So excuse me. So what we said is this. Just 2 weeks ago, in fact, those people, please, here's my request. Whoever's watching it, oh, it's not live stream, is it? Download the last week's video. Because even last week or 2 weeks ago, you said you corrected her, and she agreed with you like a sheep. That it was 78% complete.
It is 78% that exists today.
I'm sorry.
It is
Not a sheep,
78% that exists today. Get it right. Don't say 99%.
So,
But what are the
wait.
dates for the top
Wait
copy?
a second.
What are the dates for the top copy?
Slowly. 99% complete meaning what? What does it mean, 99%?
99% of the Quran, of the verses, but not the entire verses, of the surahs are there. But within those surahs, a good bit of it is missing.
How
so
much?
that only 78% is still existing today.
How much missing? Because I have done research adequately enough to go through every single page, every single lacuna, or every single missing folio. So you come up with a 78%. How many folios effectively do you have to have missing to get from 99% to 78%?
Yes.
Go on,
Within
tell
the
me.
folios, I assume the scholars know what they're talking about. I'm not done it myself.
Which
They
scholar,
are saying
wait, which scholar, don't say they anymore with me, Jay. Which scholar on planet Earth, I'm being very generous, which scholar on planet Earth says that 78% of the text is
I'm shooting at
legible?
Tyre out to college.
No, he doesn't.
He
So where do you
doesn't say
get it
that.
from? No, he doesn't.
Is it Ekmenadin then?
No, he doesn't. Where do you get this
We don't
from?
know that. We don't know the source for that.
Rumor, Christian rumor, right?
Okay, what are the dates for top copy?
No, we're not talking about dates yet.
What are the dates for top
We haven't
copy?
finished about the contents. Don't talk about dates. So 78% comes
They're the
from
dates
your-
he's having problems with again.
Wait.
No, you're having trouble.
Listen, then you will learn.
Mansur, get with the dates quickly.
78% of the text comes from where? You have no idea, just made it up.
I didn't make it up. We're quoting it. I don't know the top of it. I don't know the scholar off the top of my head.
Do you know
But
how?
let's go back to the dates on
Wait,
this.
slowly. do you know you've been talking about this for a long time in so many debates with Shabir Ali, with here and various other places? It's online. So you can't just delete and go back and remove your traces because the timestamp is there when you said this.
Mansur, what's your point? Get to the point.
Where
Is
did
it
you
complete?
get? I want to ask you this question, serious question.
Listen, Mansur, I can't give it to you right today. I will have it by next week. Wait for next week and I'll have it.
Next week.
Good. Now, okay.
It's gonna be on YouTube now. Or next week.
Okay, do a simple maths. To get from 99% to 78%, out of 408 folios, how many folios should we see missing? I'll give you a few minutes.
I have no idea. Go ahead, tell me.
Bring your calculator.
Go on, ask your Christian friends who might be having a PhD in mathematics.
I would say 22% is missing of it. Now,
Jason,
we want to know what the dates are you're giving to this.
Whipped, man.
Mansur, can you give us the dates on this?
Jay, why are you so quiet
Get
today?
whipped today. You and your crowd, man.
Have you got a throat problem?
Let me tell you,
Look.
and you can check it out, the stats.
He's a real PhD, not you.
So the top copy manuscript we want to talk about.
You're in trouble.
Mansur,
gonna go
Allah
to the-
bless you, my
You're
brother.
gonna go to the naughty corner, Jay.
He's sweating. Do you need napkin?
I've already got mine, don't worry. We're still waiting for the dates on
Here it
this.
Need
is.
coffee?
There's no poison.
Let's not talk about the dates as yet. Let's talk about the context. Not as yet, because you want to just jump and run away. No running away today.
No running away.
Right.
Today's push-up
To
day.
get from, you need to lose, do you know how many folios you have to lose? 89 folios out of 408. 89 folios. Are you seriously telling me scholars on planet Earth who have access to the facsimile edition? I have one too today. Jay is with me today. You are saying this text is not readable by 22%? Where did you get this from? It's a myth will be destroyed today. So let me show you the facsimile edition of top copy.
You got it from
No running away today.
Oh.
Okay.
Is your heart ready for
Shall we?
I'm just going to
No,
say,
he
I'm
got
going to
it, he
repeat
got it,
what
he got it with DHL, man. Come on.
I'll to call it.
Mansur, be careful.
Don't copy
This is the top copy Mus'haf that Dr. Tayyar Al-Tikulaj is talking about, right? It's their facsimile, my friend.
And what are the dates for that?
No, not talking about dates. We are talking about.
He doesn't want to talk about the
Look,
dates.
I never said we didn't talk about
78%, yes.
We are interested in your methodological 78%.
Go ahead.
Because from now on, you need to learn that this is no longer
don't
acceptable
lie.
in Speaker's Corner or at all in the whole world.
Yeah.
So now, what does Dr. Tayyar Al-Tikulaj say about reading? Legibility of the text or not?
from now on, don't
how
lie.
many pages and how many folios that you cannot read? Because I've gone through. Look, I'm no special. There are scholars who've done that. I've gone through every single page meticulously just to refute you on this point. And that's the day today, Allahu Akbar. So now tell me, how many pages are not legible? How many pages have lacuna? How many verses effectively? How many words?
Can I
effectively?
quote him right here?
Go ahead.
The top copy Mus'haf, compared to other Mus'haf, which are missing many folios, could be considered as a complete copy.
As a
It should be
complete
noted,
copy.
let me finish. It should be noted that the last maintenance and repairs of this Mus'haf were made 18 years ago. Most of its folios are difficult to read or illegible due to climatic or similar factors. In the past, due to humidity, the ink from some pages have transferred onto the facing pages, spoiling the writings. Also, some holes had appeared in the pages.
And?
That's why he is saying
And?
that much of it cannot be read. These part you cannot read today.
So basically, you need to understand what he says. Because within the facsimile, I can read, so can he. And he's transcribed what he can read. If there's something not readable, look, every single page, I'm going to do 10 experiments maybe, 10 pages.
Random.
Nothing. All readable.
Right there. Can you read all that?
Yeah. Do you want me to read it to you?
Go ahead, read it.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Jay, you're the biggest liar I've come across ever.
Yeah.
He's looking down on the Arabic. He's looking at the Arabic down there.
Then I already started reading.
I saw your eyes going down.
I did. And then I can read it.
Seriously.
Calm
Yeah,
down.
seriously.
You're an Arab speaker,
You're
are you
Arab.
not? You're a native Arab speaker. Can you read that?
No, he cannot read. He's not Arabic.
Let him see if he can read that.
Remember, don't touch it. The other day when I debate about what? Ibn Ishaq,
Yeah.
did he give you a book? And now you're touching it.
Yeah.
No, my friend.
No clashing today.
Yeah.
Fine,
Today's
let him
wonderful.
read it. He's a name marriage speaker.
No, he's not.
Can you read it?
Can you, no, the page that we had. Don't change the page, the one you had.
Let me get a very bad page. No, I'm going to help yourself. I'm going to help you by getting a very bad page.
You had one already. Just go to that page
Wait,
again.
I'm trying to.
How about this one?
Go to that one right
Don't touch
there.
it. Don't touch it. Wait, I know which one. This one.
Can you read that?
Hang on.
He can't read,
Hang
man.
on.
That guy
Put it in
cannot
picture. Look. The scholars have read it and transcribed it.
Just a second.
Go ahead. Let the whole world see.
The whole world.
Yeah.
I can't hear you.
Can't hear you, man.
فتياتكم
Speak up.
المؤمنات.
Yeah. If I go to this section, most of it is not readable.
Wait.
What they have done
This
is they've
one,
taken the
this
existing
one,
the Quran and interposed it there.
Listen. It helps if you knew the Quran by heart, then you can follow it.
Therefore, you include what you already know.
Wait.
You interpose what you already know. That's what he has done.
He asked
What
him to
was
read
this?
it and he couldn't read it. What are you
Now-
talking about?
He cannot read it. It's not legible.
Excuse me.
He couldn't read.
Now,
Of course,
Dr.
because I don't
Tayyar
have it.
Al-Tikulaj,
I didn't claim I did.
he's read it. Which one has he not read? The ones that are missing, dots. Can you see that? One dot, there, few dots there. You can work out the number of dots in the places that's missing or illegible. Look at that. I'm going to just do it randomly. All readable?
Is that legible?
Yes,
sir.
definitely. We can sit down and I can show you letter for letter, word for word.
With the lack of dialectical marks, you can assume. For example, the word kabir can be read as kathir, because if you which
Can you
means
read the consonants?
the difference between big and much in Arabic, it is drawn the same way.
friend.
If you actually just have you have to assume that it's kabir or kathir.
Listen.
If it's not readable,
Listen, within the context, if this was a Quranic mushaf, of course, the reading the whole Muslim world is familiar with, say was kathir. Why would you read something different? Because the reading is there.
because they are familiar. Because they are familiar with it because of an earlier error.
Look, you go through
If
pages.
there has been an error,
Pages of the.
they will
Don't
be
touch it.
familiar.
Don't
Page
touch
after
it.
page. Just look at it. You can see that they do not. They're not legible. Many.
There are. Page by page. Look, this scholar has read.
It doesn't show that, sir.
No. So what we found.
Okay.
Wait,
Can
let
we
me
get to
finish.
the dates now?
Wait,
Can you
finish
give me
it.
the dates for the top
Now,
copy?
Wait, that's the knockout. Wait for that.
Here we go.
Here it
Can
is.
you give me the dates for the top copy?
Your comprehension problem of what Dr. Tayyar Al-Tikulaj
Mansur.
said. I have not finished.
Move on.
You think just because Dr. Tayyar Al-Tikulaj says it's difficult to read, it doesn't mean it's impossible to read. There's a difference between difficulty in reading and impossibility in reading.
Yeah, like it was hard.
They have read it. So can you if you know Arabic. So can kids small.
I can't hear nothing. Sorry.
Can he read it? I'm sure
he
he
can,
can.
yes, he
Good.
Can he read that part of it? No, he can't.
Of course he can.
So he interposes
Wait.
what is already
Wait.
known.
No.
That isn't
The
understood.
text, for example, Birmingham manuscript. Does it have diacritics? Some.
The diacritics.
Silence is
Let me see
confirmation.
it.
Have a look.
Are you going to give us a date on this?
No, what
Yeah.
are you jumping for?
Give us the date.
Don't jump. We haven't finished yet about these contents and the folios. Why
it
is the
doesn't
rush
have
today?
diacritics.
Why is he running away
Why
today?
today?
Right.
No, it doesn't have diacritics.
What is a diacritic?
It's the dot above and below the line to show the differences in the different letters. You can have 5 different letters with just a spoon.
Let me show you where it is. Can I borrow it? Can I borrow it?
You can't borrow yours. Why should you borrow this?
I
Mansur,
made a
come on,
point
get
to
with
be
the dates.
consistent with
Let's
the
hurry
text.
up.
Right, hang on.
Can we get to
Hang
the
on,
dates
hang on.
now? 'Cause I
Why
want
you
to get
so
Tony
afraid?
up here to
Wait a second. So there are diacritics.
Oh, no, they're not diacritics in that.
I am telling you, if you have read the transcription of Dr. Fedeli, have you seen it? Of course you haven't.
Go ahead.
What
What's
can
your
I
point?
say?
I'm looking at it right here. There are no
right here.
diacritics.
The point is this. The Birmingham manuscripts has the diacritics to differentiate between ta and ya, for example.
Okay, so they have the diacritics between time.
Yeah. So now you've learned. Good. I'm very
done.
glad that you're learning every day. In fact, you're learning a lot today. Now, these Birmingham manuscripts, mainly the diacritics are not there, right? Did Dr. Fedeli, was Dr. Fedeli able to transcribe in Arabic letters of those folios?
Yes, she was.
Right. So they were able to read.
Yes, they were.
So diacritics doesn't matter then. Your argument is a moot argument.
Well, it's the reason
It doesn't
why.
matter.
No, hold on a
Why?
minute. She was able to do so because she had the Quran next to her. She was able to do so because she knew what they were paralleling. That's why she was
Why
able
did
to
they
do
have
so.
to create them if it wasn't a
They're
problem?
not creating it. Because if it's a Quranic benefit, of course you will find Quran in there. So why should
Can
you
we
think?
get to the dates now?
Yes.
Get to the dates. What is the date for the top copy?
Wait. Just my final 30 seconds on this. So now you realize your 78% myth is your own invention.
It's been busted.
But you said, I'm going to check it up next week. Please do. Check up and find out where they say it's not legible, because scholars, including students of paleography, they can read it like they have done here. Now, so we have almost 99% of the Quran complete. In fact, 99% is almost complete, right?
Is it 650?
Right. How,
Is it
or dates,
650?
That's the
dates.
Bible says.
When does Dr. Tayyar al-Tikulaj date it?
He dates it to the early 8th century.
Early 8. So how many years after the Prophet?
About 60 years, 70 to 60 to 70 years.
60 to 70 years. Now, so you have a complete Quran,
Hold on a minute.
almost complete, 99%.
I'm sorry. 749. He dates it to the mid 8th century.
Where does he date
Mid
749?
8th century.
Where?
Look at the dates he has on there.
Where does he say that?
Find it.
Let's say Jay, we're done.
Early to mid 8th century.
No, where does he say 749? I want to know the thing.
Page 81. Look on page 81.
Okay, page 81. I'm so glad you had a page number. Page 81. Your mythological reading will all be over. Page 81.
Mansur is the
Page
mythbuster.
81.
Yeah. So now tell me in page 81, where, look, even have a tag to page 81.
See?
No, because he's going to show me where.
Early
it says,
to mid 8th
No,
century.
741. 941. sir. Where does it say that?
749.
To mid 8th century. That's
No,
749.
wait. You make up dates as you go along,
Yes.
right? 78% figure, 749.
Yes, exactly.
If it's there, of course we will accept it. I'll
What's
let you know
mid
where.
8th century?
No.
Actually, it's 750, isn't it?
No.
I'm off by 1 year.
No.
Excuse me.
You made that date up, didn't you? You just made this date up in your head.
In a minute, it's going to
Did
be
you not?
751.
Actually, 749 is when the Abbasids take over.
No, did you
So
just
it makes sense that it
so
would
you
be
just
that
made
date.
He lied.
Okay. So did Dr. Tayyar al-Tikulaj use the date 749?
He said mid 8th century.
So he didn't say
So what is
749?
mid 8th century?
No, he didn't.
That's actually 750.
now,
it's even later.
I'm so
But
glad.
that's not important.
Okay,
It's 8th century, is
So
it not?
I'm so glad that you're not correcting yourself today.
Thank you.
You know, a very good student.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you're saying you just made up the date.
Go ahead.
Right.
Lie as a Christian.
You shouldn't lie. It's
Right. Today is the biggest day for him today. Right. He will learn, God willing. So now, how different? The crucial question is this. Having a Quran, 99% complete is almost complete.
Oh, no, wait, don't say 99% complete.
It's 98.
We have already said, and you have agreed,
What?
that there are parts you cannot read.
No, I can read.
The only part,
No, I didn't agree.
the part that's
You
underneath
can read,
is
but I
nothing
can't.
more than transliteration.
No.
These are
You cannot read
ingested
them,
by
that's your
but what we
You
already
can't
know
read
the
them.
Quran.
Look, the scholars, Dr. Tayyar al-Tikulaj could read it.
Yeah.
That's
Because
important.
he memorized
So
it.
according to Dr. Tayyar al-Tikulaj,
And Tayyar al-Tikulaj
he could read.
also
he could
admits.
read. No, he doesn't admit.
He also
Because-
states that
Listen.
there are 2,270 variants.
Okay, that's what I'm going to talk about.
You're going to talk about, but I want the
2000
dates.
Wait.
Look at those dates. Now, why are we
Wait.
bringing up
You
the
lied
dates?
about the date.
Wait.
Why are we looking at the
Wait.
dates? Even if we went to the earliest part of those dates, the
Okay.
early 8th century, which I'm willing to go to. I'm willing to go to
How
the earliest
different
8th
is it?
century.
How different?
How many years
is-
after Uthman is this?
Yeah, how many years?
50 to 60 years.
Right. So we have
So,
a
folks,
Quran.
why is that important?
99.
Why is it
98%
we
complete.
don't have
have
a
a Quran
Quran from the time of
99%
Uthman?
Okay, look. We have a Quran just to understand and to compare, right? It's very important to compare.
Yeah.
We have a Quran within 50 to 60 years. Yeah? Do you have a complete manuscript of the New Testament within 50 to 60 years?
They
And the
have an
reason we
original.
don't, very simple. They were not written on vellum. They were not written on parchment.
Why did God
They
not
were written on
protect it?
papyrus.
Why
But
did God
all
not
of
protect
these are written on vellum.
Muslims have
These
the
are
power
written
to do
on
that.
parchment.
What power?
There is no reason to write
Doing it
on
on Power Rangers
papyrus
team.
in the 7th century. Especially, here we go. Especially, Glenn, wake up. Especially if you have, but in this case, if you control the area that you now dominate, which
gonna
they
make a
did by
political
642. They controlled not only Damascus, they controlled Basra, they controlled Baghdad, they controlled Medina, they controlled these cities. They controlled, by the time that Abdul Malik comes to power, all of North Africa all the way from
So why
India in the east, all
why
the way
didn't God
to Spain in the west.
Yeah.
So certainly they should have, by the time of Uthman,
So God
they should have, by the
didn't
time of
God know?
Uthman in 650, been able to write the complete Quran
I'm glad.
in a place that we can
happy
still see it today.
that Jay Smith, I'm so glad and happy that Jay Smith is admitting he cannot compare apples and bananas and
Thank you,
oranges.
thank you.
Why?
Yes.
The manuscript tradition of the Quran
Yes.
is like day, and the biblical manuscript tradition is like night.
Thank you.
That's how it is.
It's dark.
Let's move on. Contents. How
Whether you like it or
different
not, that's
is
the
the
way it
top
is.
copy manuscript
Yes.
Sorry.
than the Quran that we read and recite today?
Yes. Did you hear that, Jay?
How different is it?
Yes.
I'm saying again, there are 2,200 variants
No,
in it.
how different?
Why is there even one variant?
How many? How different is
Why
it?
is there even one variant?
How different?
If this is from God
Answer the
and it's
question.
complete, and why is it that this is not from the time of Uthman?
Answer the question.
Why is it for 50 years they cannot come up with a complete Quran?
Answer the question.
Why is it if they control all this land, they cannot come up with not just one? Where are those 4 manuscripts? Remember what we started out with this afternoon.
I'm going to answer your question.
What did we start out with this
No,
afternoon?
don't rewind. Let's
According to
move on.
Uthman,
With your lies. That's
Let's-
what
according to
let's
Uthman,
So now you
let me
mentioned
finish,
about-
Mansur. According to Uthman, 4 copies were made, sent to 4 cities.
No.
Where are those copies?
Try again.
Try again.
4 copies were made and sent to every province.
Where did Uthman say 4 copies?
Give me the thing.
Give him anything he needs. He's gonna lie anyway.
On Al-Buhari.
Give him the material.
Give him
he's
to
gonna
send
lie.
to every province.
You said 4. I want to know.
Actually, there are
Where did you
11
get 4
provinces
from?
that we've
No,
been able
you
to
said
count.
Uthman sent it to 4.
Yes, where?
So where is this 4?
Where is it?
God willing, today all of these numbers will be dismantled. God
Inshallah,
willing.
inshallah.
So where is that 4?
Ordered that all the other Quranic materials,
Listen, people.
whether written in fragmentary manuscripts or whole copies, be burnt. A verse from Surah, so we searched it,
Doesn't believe
and
about
then
burning.
one copy of what had been copied. Uthman then sent to every Muslim province 1 copy of what they had copied.
So where
To
did he say
every
4?
Muslim province. How many provinces were there existent at that time?
More than 4.
So you
How
made
many-
up the number 4.
So actually we have more than 4
did
now.
you make up this
Yeah.
number
So
4
where
again?
are these?
Where did you get 4 from?
Did you make this number 4 up again?
Where did
Well,
you
we
get
can
4
make up
from?
4. we got it somewhere. I can't remember.
No,
off the top of my
where
head.
did you get 4
That
from?
means even more than 4, right?
No, where did you get 4 from?
Right. He can't remember.
He lied about 749.
Go
now
ahead,
he's
what
lying
else?
about 4.
That
is his job. Read off this.
So now
small.
we can see.
Okay, how many do you count there? How many provinces do you count there?
He makes up numbers.
Is there 4?
Okay, 9 provinces that we now have been able to
More than 4,
count.
isn't it?
So these are even more manuscripts. So where are these 9 copies?
Let me answer you.
Where are these original Uthmanic copies?
Hey, Mansur.
Go
So
ahead.
now, as you realize again, time and time again, he makes up numbers. And when you ask him,
I
to
was
back it
giving
up-
you only 4.
No, you said
Actually, it's now 9. That makes it worse for you.
You said Uthman said 4, and you read
Yes.
Uthman didn't say 4.
Exactly.
So you're
There's many
proven to be
provinces.
lying again on Uthman.
Jay, come on.
Right? And that's precisely my point today. My aim today is to expose your lies, one after the
Mansur,
other.
you're missing the
Right,
question.
right, next
Get to the question.
Maybe
Where
it's
are
not
those
like-
9
it's not
manuscripts?
question.
Where are those 9 manuscripts?
The question that I asked you instead of you asking me is this. Does top copy manuscript, in fact I said,
You're stalling. You're stalling. We want an answer.
Drink some Pepsi.
Do you want an answer, folks?
Yes.
good, so lead some
But we don't want you
patience
to lie.
here. Okay, the question that I put on the floor is this to him and to everyone. How much does the top copy manuscript contents vary or is different from the Quran that we read and recite today?
Answer.
2,270 variants. Are all these substantial? No, they're not.
Let me tell you.
The fact that there's one variant is a problem for me.
Jay, I'll talk
If
about
this
variants in a
is
minute.
truly God's holy writ,
Let me
if
finish
this
my-
is really a manuscript that has always existed
Jay, let me
eternally,
finish my point.
if it was sent down to Muhammad verbatim through the angel Gabriel, if it was written at the time of Uthman in 650, and then sent 9 copies, I said 4 before. Actually, I was giving you guys an awful lot of leeway.
No,
now
lying.
it's 9 copies.
Lying.
9 copies, even more than 4. Where are those 9 copies?
So as I started,
We've been asking this now for 20 years.
Listen, Jay, and you learned today. Because you're 20 years too late to learn. Anyway. So I said, I asked the question and he's given the answer. So let's recap. How much does the top copy vary from the Quran that we read today or recite today? Excuse me, listen. Perhaps you can learn something.
Listen to learn.
Mansur,
Your friend Jay said,
can we get to the answer?
Jay said,
Hurry up with the answer.
Hang on.
Where are
There is
these
no
9
hurry up.
copies, complete and unchanged from the time of Uthman?
Jay.
Complete and unchanged from the time of
Listen,
Uthman.
listen. So the
Let's see
answer-
if he can answer that.
So the answer Jay gave to my question is, there are over 2,200 or 170 variants. There shouldn't be one variant. Right. So he thinks, brothers, so he thinks, because of these variants, which he has no idea about, we will establish what they are, God willing, in a moment, that it is different. Now here is what I'm declaring here. If I read...
Mansur, listen, I've got Tony here. He's all the way from Canada. Can you hurry up with the answer? Listen, this is why we don't give you the ladder. Because you're not... This is why we don't give you the ladder. Hurry up and give us the answer. I want to get Tony on the ladder quickly.
I'm here.
So you're going to get 5 minutes now. We're giving you 5 minutes. Then, Tony, you're getting on the ladder. Give us the answer. Where are these 9 manuscripts?
Okay, within my 5 minutes, maybe I should summarize them. Thank you very much.
Go ahead.
So, do not interrupt. We had a debate recently with him. I was there, I was on the ladder. We talked about the manuscripts or the historicity of the biographical tradition of the Prophet. Yeah? At the end, because I made my point, I left, he kept on bragging on his Thunder Films website. Oh, Muslims running away. We're gonna now, next week, or immediately following, talk about the Quranic manuscripts. He's gonna come prepared, right? Of course he's prepared. Look, all these laminated copies. So I thought, that's very good. It makes easier the job when you're prepared and when I'm prepared. So I came carrying a heavy manuscript, a facsimile of it. And he thinks this is different. Here is what...
Is this Uthmanic?
The question is...
Is this from Uthman?
That's not the question.
The question that we're
Is this
addressing...
from the 7th
That's not
century?
the question.
That is the question, folks. Can you see, even this manuscript that he wants to claim is the same as the Quran we have today. Yet we do know there are 2,270. Can you see he's still not answering that question? So I want Tony to come up here now. I want you to come on up, Tony.
Okay, did you see?
Hurry up.
Did you see? I did not finish my 5 minutes.
Yes, I know.
And how you rudely...
Because Tony's here from
You know what? I don't care, Tony, because he can wait 5
At
minutes.
least if on Turkey for God's
You
sake.
said you agreed to 5 minutes.
I came
You
from
can
Turkey.
wait
Hurry
5
up.
minutes, Tony. Right. Long doesn't matter. 5 minutes.
You've got another 3 minutes left.
No, you interrupted my 2 minutes.
No, hold on. You've been interrupting me the whole time. We've been interrupting each other. You have 3 minutes. Hurry up.
You agreed to interrupt.
So now, out of these 2,000 differences, do you know what Dr. Tayyar Al-Tiqlat says? Do you know what he says? What these differences are?
Some of them are dogger olives.
Oh, you know what?
Dagger olives. Does it make a difference when you read the Quran and read the top copy when you have a dagger olive missing or absent?
Yes, it makes a difference. Qatala is different from qatala. Qatala is fought. Qatala is killed. There's a big difference.
When we have
Native Arab
Listen,
speaker.
No, he's not a speaker, native.
When you have
He's
the Quran in
Syrian.
context,
He's Syrian, not Arab.
context, doesn't matter.
native
We
tongue,
can
be
read,
careful.
listen, the question is, can we read the top copy like we read our Quran today, with or without the dagger olive? The answer is 100% yes.
No, that's not right. That's
He
not
just
right.
gave you an example where it
That's not right.
changes.
That's an example. For example,
let
in
me
Mus'haf,
finish. Let me finish.
Excuse me.
Let me finish.
And Mus'haf
Let me finish. Wait.
Let her finish.
When I have
right,
this
go
Quran here, yeah, Qala or Qala, for example, am I able to read this
Is it still on?
as we have our manuscripts, our Quran today? Am I able to read it?
Yes.
The answer is yes. If you want to read it differently, you can read it differently if you want. But I'm still able to read.
In some words, it wouldn't make a difference, but in many other words, it would make a
What I'm
difference.
making this point is,
Hafiz an Asim.
that we read
Hafiz
today.
an Asim.
Listen.
It says iqtulu.
I want to-
Qatilu. And the one in Morocco says
Here is what I want to
No,
tell
no,
you.
it doesn't exist in yours. You
The
idiot.
Quran.
Don't be a liar.
No, I read it. I read it. In Warsh it exists.
Qaran was You're a liar. I challenge you.
We can read our Quran, or you can read this Quran exactly as the Quran we recite today. It's not my words, it's what Dr. Khair said himself. And when you check every single page, which we should meet and sit down in the park and go through, my friend. If you are so sincere and interested, and we will demonstrate to you, God willing, we can read this Quran exactly in the qira'ah of the Quran that we read today. That is why Dr. Al-Tikulaj makes a point that is preserved. 1300 years, the Quran from Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
1300 years is correct. He's finally admitted 1300 years.
We read it every day.
We have always been telling you in Islamic awareness and everywhere, it is not an Islamic copy. We told you that, and now you're telling me I don't know.
And we accept that 1300
At
years.
least you know
Thanks a lot,
something.
Mansur.
Thank him.
God bless you.
Yeah, you
God
not
thank him. You know something, man.
Tony.
destroy what? Not the Quran anymore.
We're going to ask
You're
you
gonna
a
talk
question
about
you did not want to answer.
You are angry, Paul.
Anyway,
You are angry,
we
Paul.
learned this lesson today. Very good. I'm very glad you like this. And you
And discoursing the message of the lesson.
Yeah, of course. And he's talking about Quranic manuscripts.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Jay have to keep correcting him and stuff like that.
Six major manuscripts found 800 differences. Now we know that those 800 differences, Tony, those 800 differences are spread out throughout the 6 manuscripts. In fact, he's added another 4 on top of that. So that's 10 manuscripts. So here we have, looking at these, we have insertions, we have deletions, we have coverings, we have tapings, we have writings over top of coverings, we have also some that they didn't even bother to erase. They just wrote over top. When you look at
This is Jay Smith just having a chat with Tony Costa and showing total disinterest in having a discussion with any of the Muslims. As you can see, the crowd has dispersed, they've left him. No one is there really listening about for one of the individuals. Excuse me. Sorry.
But it didn't choose you live.
There you go. Just the same brother who comes and has a chat with Smith and just a few other individuals, and that's it. Not hundreds and hundreds that you expect. As Jay Smith claims, there you go. They're the people. They are not interested in speaking to Muslims or engaging with any of the Muslims here. So, Tony, I have a question for you both.
We want to check questions.
only book that tells you.
Tony, I have a question for you both. Because I think you don't know what you're talking about, and I need to really discuss this with you.
Tony, there's a question over here.
And how devastating.
As you can see, they're just having a friendly chat, which they can easily have at KFC. Instead of coming to Speaker's Corner and then making a claim, we talked in front of hundreds of Muslims, and no Muslims were able to refute us. But as you can see, the reality is this.
Who is that
He was
guy?
talking in the cool of the day.
How
He
about
was talking and calling out
speaking to
words.
him on the things he
Now,
said?
Tony, how do you walk
Should we
unless you
correct
have
him?
legs?
Yes, we should.
Yeah, go
How do you
ahead.
talk unless you have
Because
barrel
they
legs?
are
So at one time,
they are
Dr.
spreading
Human
misinformation.
Park, He came down and related to us face to face.
misinformation. So we
Is there
must correct
any
them.
other
We must correct these
religious
people.
book that says
Because they're
that?
lying.
Whatsoever. None.
And how do you know
Tony,
they're lying? They're not
do you want to
taking
be
any
walking
questions.
and talking with God?
They wouldn't like
shut up and
Do you want to go back
not
and walk
taking
and
any
talk with God?
challenges.
Absolutely. I want everyone here to walk
But
with
how
God.
can you do that?
Only through Jesus Christ.
You can't do
Bring
that
it
today,
closer.
can
Bring
you?
it closer.
I'm sorry?
You cannot do that today.
Not by myself.
Because
God
why?
did it.
What has happened?
What is happening?
Excuse me, Tony. Do you take questions?
Tony, we're going to.
Tony.
Something has to be done.
Do you take questions?
Tony, why are you ignoring us?
Chat
Why
between yourselves.
can't I pay for my
Bring
sin?
it out of
Because you are a sinner and
That's
you
the
are
only
indebted to
language they will
God.
Listen,
understand.
Adam and Eve.
Go and find one, please.
How many sins took them out of God's presence? One sin.
Why are you ignoring the Muslims now? Have you had enough?
one sin destroyed that relationship. Wow. Threw them out of God's presence. Wow. How many sins did Adam?
Now this is a message to Funda Films audience. As you can clearly see,
provided a remedy.
because you can hear me out very well, Tony O'J is totally reluctant to engage with discussions with Muslims here.
Sin has to be paid.
Making claims after claims that I come to Speaker's Corner and no Muslims can
Must be
answer.
life-giving.
But the realities are not.
Whose life? Your life?
Because they're not interested
My life?
in a discussion with Muslims. They're only interested in discussing between themselves. Do that over KFC or McDonald's. Why come to Speaker's Corner there?
Because he's the son of God.
Jay, Tony, are you married to each other? Are you married to each other?
Only God is holy and pure.
I don't think so.
So it had to be God who